Have you ever wondered what would happen if Microsoft and Linux finally just put aside all their differences and went ahead and got married like you know they want to? Well, this is what would happen, guys. They would have a beautiful marriage, a hell of a union, and they would have a beautiful little baby called Weasel, WSL. That's what we're going to look at today, guys. Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we're talking about WSL, or Windows Subsystem for Linux. So what the WSL is really at a high level, it's the ability to add Linux to Microsoft Windows. So we're not talking about spinning up a virtual machine through VirtualBox or VMware. We're talking about embedding Linux, so to speak, into a Windows operating system. It'll make more sense once we get going here, guys, but basically we're going to be able to install different distributions and embed them right into Windows so that we can call upon them whenever we choose to. And that'll also give us the ability to install Linux-based applications and launch those natively from Microsoft Windows. Again, without the need for like a VirtualBox or a VMware player or anything like that. So if you haven't installed it already, I'm going to walk you through that. I've completely ripped it out of my environment, so we're going to start from the beginning. So open a terminal as admin. That may prompt you for UAC. You have to accept that. Once you have the terminal open, first thing we're going to do, guys, is WSL-install. This will install WSL, and by default, I'm going to get another UAC prompt. By default, it's going to use Ubuntu as that distribution. If you're not a fan of Ubuntu, I'm going to show you in a little bit here how we can install additional distributions, and then also how we can switch between them and make another one the default. So a lot of cool things that we can do here. Alright guys, so we now have that installed, and as you see here, we do have to reboot the computer, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can do it however you want, but in PowerShell restart-computer will do that for you. So let's get that taken care of and be right back. Alright guys, upon rebooting, the terminal should resume, and it'll tell you here that it is installing and launching Ubuntu. So we'll give this a second to wrap up, and there it is. Next thing we have to do is give it a username for the Linux instance, and give it a decent password at least. There we go, guys. We are now up and running here in about a few seconds. Installation successful with a Ubuntu WSL instance. There it is. So we can do a pwd for print working directory, and we see that we do have a directory of home Damien. That's the username I created. We can cd to root and do an ls to list, and we see we have a bunch of the standard Linux directories here. So very cool. Next thing we can do is, next thing I wanted to do was show you guys how to get to this WSL environment through Windows Explorer. Should you need to interact with the file system from the GUI, this is one way to do it. So you see WSL as a share now, and any distributions that we install will have a root folder here. So here's Ubuntu, here's home, here's Damien. We can put a text file in here so we can interact directly with that Linux file system from Windows. I'll just say testing, and let me drag this over here. I'm going to say hello there from Windows. We can save that, close it, and we can look here. We can cd back into home, Damien, ls, and we can cat the testing file, and there it is. So very easy to interact between the systems and very easy to get going with that first distribution. So let's open another tab here on our terminal. Another cool thing now, guys, is the terminal has really obviously gotten better over the years, but if you click on this arrow here next to new tab, we now see Ubuntu as an option. So you can open a terminal instance of PowerShell, Command Prompt, Azure Cloud Shell, and now Ubuntu. So as we add these distros, we're going to see this stack get a little bigger, which is very cool, because maybe you need to run commands under a specific distribution, or you've installed different packages. Easy peasy. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to do, I'll show you anyway, is WSL-L. That'll give you a list of what's installed. So we see Ubuntu, and it's the default installation. Now if you want to see a list of available distributions, do the L for list and do the O for online. This is going to show us everything that the Microsoft Store offers as far as distributions they're dishing out for WSL. So quite a decent list here. We see Debian, Kali Linux, Ubuntu, a bunch of different flavors of Ubuntu or releases. You got a few Oracle releases. You've got an OpenSUSE. You've got a couple different SUSE there, and Tumbleweed from SUSE. So yeah, decent selection. Let's go ahead and install another one. So we can do WSL-install -D for distribution, and let's throw Kali on here. You do have to spell WSL right. That is a requirement. Sorry about that, guys. It's early here. Coffee's just kicking in. Alright guys, so that is installing Kali Linux. Once that's done, we'll give it a username. Same process here across the different distros that we get installed. Okay, there we go. So now we are in Kali. So we can do a pwd, we can do a cd to root, ls, and we see all our directories. So pretty cool. Now if we come back to our WSL share, we now see Kali Linux and Ubuntu. Let's open another terminal here, guys. We can do the WSL list again, and we see Kali and Ubuntu. Very cool. Let's do one more, and then we'll look at a couple other things besides installing distributions. So again, we'll do WSL-L-O for list online. And then let's do Debian this time. So WSL-install -D for distribution, and then Debian. Debian. How do you guys say it? Let me know. I think I say Debian because it rhymes with my name, Damien. I don't know. Maybe subconsciously. Alright, create a username. Password, repeat that. And there we go, guys. Now we have 3 operating systems running on the Linux side, or on the WSL side, and we see them all here in the WSL share, and we should also see them all here, which we're not, but that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that later. Actually, I'll show you how to fix that right now, guys. We do have to open a new terminal, so I close that out. If we just launch a new terminal, it will have the refreshed list. Now we should be able to click the arrow, and voila, there's our Ubuntu, our Kali Linux, and our Debian. So that's all you have to do. If you don't see them, close the terminal, relaunch it, you should have the full list there. Alright guys, another cool thing after you have these installed, you can just search for them here, right in your Windows environment. So we can do Ubuntu, pops right up. If you click that, it'll launch the Ubuntu terminal. You can do that for the other distros as well. So if we search for Kali, Kali is now a Windows app. So we just click that, and boom, there it is. So any distros you have become native apps right in Windows. So you can search for those and launch them straight from the Windows start. Alright guys, by now we should understand WSL a little bit, understand what it is, have it up and running, but now let's get into some cool stuff. So we're going to launch Ubuntu in this case. And the real benefit of a lot of this is being able to run Linux applications, right? So let's try to install one. So we'll do a sudo apt install. Let's just do a basic application of gedit, which is just a text editor for Linux. And you got to type your password here since we're doing sudo. And give this a quick install. And it looks like we do need to update apt here, so let's try that again. Sorry, apt-get update. Let's try our gedit again. Alright, that looks good, guys. So if you didn't see that, what we had to do was, it failed the first time, it was missing some packages, so we had to run in apt, we had to update apt. So that was sudo apt-get update, and that'll just update all the packages for apt. After that, we just reran the sudo apt install gedit, and that was successful. So now that we have a GUI based application installed in Linux, we should be able to launch that right here, and it'll launch in Windows. So here it is, guys. This is gedit. You can do whatever you want here, and you should be able to save it, open new tabs, all that nice stuff. So we should be able to go here and save, and then it's going to open up that mounted Linux file system, and we can save it. Let's just call it gedit doc1, and we'll save it, and we'll close it. And you will see some errors up here on the screen. These can be safely ignored, guys. So if we look at, let's clear the screen. So if we look at pwd ls, there's our gedit doc1. So let's cat gedit doc1, and there's our file. So very cool stuff. You can open a Linux application, even a GUI based application, right inside of Windows using this. So very cool stuff, very powerful. Gedit obviously is just a very simple example, but the options are basically unlimited by your imagination. So yes, very cool. Alright guys, before we wrap up, just want to show you a few quick commands here. A couple pro tips from the WSL. So a couple things that might be useful to know, guys, is WSL, we can do a WSL shutdown. This will kill all the running instances of WSL. So if you have Debian, Kali, Ubuntu, whatever running, this will shut them down effectively. Another one you might want to do, guys, because let's look at our WSL-L, and we see Ubuntu is the default. So if you do WSL-set-default, and then call, let's say for this example, Kali Linux. Okay, now we do our WSL-L, and Kali Linux is the default, so you can switch between your default instances there. So a pretty handy command to know. Another one would be WSL-update if you wanted to update WSL. That works well, but if something goes wrong, you can also do WSL-update and then follow that by rollback. That would revert any changes that the update did. And yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you. There's a lot more commands you can do. You can get fancy and write your own programs and have Windows interact directly with the WSL subsystem and things like that. But a little out of scope from this video. I just want to show you how to get WSL up and running, what it is, how to get different distributions, how to interact with the file systems between Windows and Linux, and then how to be able to launch those applications natively within Windows. So really cool stuff, guys. I know it's not brand new, it's been around for at least a couple years, but I'm just getting into WSL. So again, when I discover something new and I learn about it, I love to share it with you guys. So feel free to drop a comment, guys. If you haven't done so, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of new content coming out soon. And if you have any feedback about WSL, maybe you know some stuff that I didn't cover here, or you think I missed something, hey, by all means, let me know, guys. I'd be more than happy to interact with the community and perhaps make a second follow-up video if there's something important that I missed. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Until the next one, take care.